That's an 001? Where did this go? Oh, yeah, check that one out later. I'm not a big fan of these ones, but it's an 01. Alright, we'll have to check that one out later. Alright. Well, alright. Well, it is big oil alone. We'll have to get back to this one. I have to watch this one, but well, it's important to know culturally. Oil is one of those ones that just you have to keep an eye on it, whether you do it or not, for federal reasons. Penzero.
MasterCard is working alongside Black women business owners with ways to get more businesses online and hundreds of millions in funding. Join MasterCard.
It's Copenhagen. Remember, you have no idea what crude is right now, what natural gases are, why some are up, or why you would choose one military economic monster on some things inside here from the... Is hybrid work worth it for the processor towers we've been talking about today? And 10 to the 120th games of chess are the volume of the King's Crown just in that room right there about what you could do with the books or change the orientation or names of those books, right? I mean,
retail, restaurant,
eschatology
hotel, hospital, you know, the hospitality industry, all of those that have been battered down by the pandemic, they're all going to come back. They don't require huge amounts of
in the end of it, you have to understand that becomes a dark matter calculation. It is the calculation you use. It's the metrics is, if anything, it starts you to train it to so everybody, so that's an egrosphere, that area around it. Well, it's got lots of names. It's got a danger zone, or profit area, or, you know, what the Copenhagen interpretation of, once you know what that is, you can still say, in the simulator here, conversationally, if I grab this book, the pilot's theory is most commonly this, but in that book there's any answers. It is just much more beneficial to use something that, if it was a chemistry reaction or plasticity of a steel bolt, to talk about, well, whether it be analytical or a fictional Bernoulli setup, but they're both field theory. And, you know, it gets a little bit confusing in the trig when you get bringing up ones and zeros and data compression that way to talk about it, but that's essentially what they're doing no matter what they do. Now, whether that registers to you and is correct has an index of a superposition, right? In the Copenhagen interpretation of the Minkowskian space that deal with Bell's equality and Gresham's law for the subject matter at the horizon limit. Obviously, the expansion is to what it said. Right now,
what can we do to address the talent shortage or the alleged
well, you'd
labor
imagine a
shortage
spectrum. You
that
watch
companies
light
are seeing
stretches from a source in the same way that the radiation of the egrosphere, again, there is where all the energy is, but here it's in explaining it for recreating that organization like you would housing a chemical experiment. I still need to be able to find testing parameters, because if that result does, it's still in a testing form of what it'll do next. Again, is the duality, Copenhagen, Minkowskian space. We still have to generalize it, and in that form, that's what it'll become. But right next to it, in the same room, if we chose a very different Aleph 1, Aleph 2, or Aleph 0, Aleph 1 methodology, there it's just easy, because we play 0, right-hand rule. If you didn't know that's where that post was, those types of ideas of now as an operator, I'm in one of them as a compellable index in a future position to probabilities and trajectories, then this object has function as a ball. Whatever we were talking about here, how it hit you, how it hit somebody else, what is their resonant frequencies of photon to enrich states comparatively, the yield of the amount that hits into a thing, and how do you even metrics those results? When you're in the stone mill,
glad you brought this up, because I was thinking specifically about
it's this limiting housing that forms a gravity.
Do you think that the Great
Right? If I
Resignation
just
is
wanted
sort
to
of
do
modern-day
this
workers' strike?
to the resignation
because
because of certain sets, you would say, well, it's not because I want to get out of here. I might be good with that. I might like that duality. But regionally, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to do great with AU here unless it's in the form of a derivative.
Services coming out of the pandemic.
Silicon Valley.
We don't go too far back into the pandemic. There will continue